Aloha! This is Lesson 7 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. I see only past. This idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing that you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there. Old ideas about time are difficult to change because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Yet that is precisely why you need new ideas about time. This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first. Look at a cup, for example. Do you see a cup, or are you merely reviewing your past experiences of picking up a cup, being thirsty, drinking from a cup, feeling the rim of a cup against your lips, having breakfast, and so on? Are not your aesthetic reactions to the cup, too, based on past experiences? How else would you know whether or not this kind of cup will break if you drop it? What do you know about this cup except what you learned in the past? You would have no idea what this cup is except for your past learning. Do you then really see it? Look about you. This is equally true of whatever you look at. Acknowledge this by applying the idea for today indiscriminately to whatever catches your eye. For example, I see only past in this pencil. I see only past in this shoe. I see only past in this hand. I see only past in that body. I see only past in that face. Do not linger over any one thing in particular, but remember to omit nothing specifically. Glance briefly at each subject, then move on to the next. 3 or 4 practice periods, each to last a minute or so, will be enough. I see only past. So then everything that I gave a function to, let's say this chair that I seem to be sitting on, chair seems to be for sitting on, I gave that function to the chair. I made it out of past perceptions. Conditioning.
It's passed on.
It's passed on through the generations. Conditioning about what these things mean. When really everything has a purpose given to it by the Holy Spirit. You can say given to it by God, because, it's all one. To awaken your mind. Even a chair, for instance. It all has one function. And this exercise, practice of recognizing that we see only past in everything, it leads to a transformation in the mind, the way the mind would see everything. So then the way you start to see everything is as a gift for your awakening, and not having the utility that you thought you gave to it. So now it doesn't have any power to upset you. Everything that you gave a function to and you believe in that function, as more than just a plaything. There's something to play with, it's like dreaming.
Everything becomes so heavy.
Everything becomes heavy when you give it your function and you don't recognize that this is dreaming. So this exercise practice, call it what you like, I see only the past, helps turn the mind around from following an ego's way of looking at everything to learning to see with the eyes of Christ. You could say the eyes of the Spirit. Learning to see that there's only God in everything that your attention lands on. That's the only thing that's ever valuable about anything that your attention lands on. Whether you seem to like it or not, that's not really relevant. It's relevant to a separate self. It's relevant to an ego. But even for the separate self, when you decide to focus on only your loving thoughts, everything else is taken care of, even in the illusion, by the Spirit.
Maybe you can give an example. Like, what if that chair breaks? Maybe like the normal conditioned way of looking at it is cussing, getting mad, being angry.
Sure.
I've got to go buy a new chair. All that whole structure is a phony structure from conditioning.
Yes. So Tony's talking about, what if this chair, which I seem to have given an imaginary purpose to, something I could sit on, what if it breaks? Like, what's the difference, from a conditioned mind perceiving that the thing they gave a function to didn't serve that function? In the legal field, there's something you can sue for. It's called unfit for a particular purpose. That's the purpose, you gave to it. So, like, for instance, most likely, I can really only speculate, but most likely, if, I'm sitting here, apparently, and the chair seems to break, I might get a perception that there's some pain, there might be like a bruise on the tailbone or some different things like that. But the way I perceive it is as a gift. So immediately my mind's going to go to gratitude. And, I have experience in my memory of having extended gratitude in the moment, just right after some sort of impact or something like that, to just extend gratitude, because that's the moment when the ego is going to arise and it's like, see, this is really bad. For one thing, I paid good money for this chair. Someone should be giving me a refund. Someone should be paying for my injuries, all that kind of stuff. It's like, even all that kind of legal stuff, whatever needs to occur, it will occur. It's just not something that needs to occupy your mind. So, I would extend gratitude right away, and all of the other things, everything would take care of itself in whatever way it does. I just extend gratitude for anything that arises in the perception, because I know that it's the means for waking up from perceiving altogether.
Because victims can't wake up from that.
Right. Victims, if you would make yourself a victim, you can't wake up from dreaming. If you know what these things are that your attention is landing on, you think you know what they are, and you believe in that, you also can't wake up from dreaming. So this is undoing that. So in practicing, I see only the past in this whatever. That's the practice for the day. So that these things are becoming lighter in your awareness and not weighing you down and having you become dependent on how they behave in your dream. Because when you're dependent on things in the dream, you're totally setting yourself up for depression. Just your dependency alone causes them to prove that they're not worthy of you, let's say. causes them to prove that. And it's like everyone loves you, and they are worthy of you, and you are worthy of them, because it's all love. The way we perceive these things, that is not worthy of us.
It's built-in fault system.
It's a built-in system for proving that hell is real and you're separate from God. So it may seem weird to practice, especially at first. I see only past in this table, this statue, in these blinds, It may seem weird at first, but then you really get to enjoy that that's the case, especially whenever you feel a heavy thought coming on, and you just apply that. You bring that heavy thought to the truth. I see only past in this. Let's say even if it's a situation. I see only the past in this person. In that face. That you're learning to see with the eyes of Christ, so you can look on everyone and see Christ within them. The face of Christ is your true face. So it's a very potent sharing. It's the only kind of sharing that has a real value. It's sharing the truth, sharing the love of God. And I'm so happy to share with you today. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Aloha.